I don't want to be stiff.
Okay, I'll just check if we are actually live on YouTube as well.
Okay, that would be awesome.
fun.
I'm excited about this.
Yeah,
This is gonna be
it's different, isn't it?
Yes, it is. We are live on Facebook.
And we are live on YouTube.
We are
awesome. And YouTube. This is awesome. This is good.
Now we are live.
There we are.
In
right
many
there.
places.
Right there.
Yes.
2 different places.
All right. So, Carolina, like, we just love talking to you,
Yes.
honestly. Like,
well, same here.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in a nutshell, last week we talked a little bit and we realized some topics kind of came up in the middle of a conversation of that I think really warranted more conversation.
Yeah.
For me and Lindsey personally, and probably for you too, Carolina, is that, I think there's just been a lot of experiences in our life that we've gone through in the last couple of years that Okay.
Oh, I think we're back.
Or the post or what? Okay.
Okay.
All right. Sorry about that.
Sorry. I think it might be our UK internet that is being silly.
Yeah.
Lovely. All right.
Yeah.
But
we're back.
No, it's all good. For people kind of jumping on this, guys, like this is just what Lindsey and I and Carolina have just been wanting to
Carolina.
I'm sorry. I always say it wrong.
I don't mind either, to be honest. I'm just used to it.
Right?
Well,
I know.
But that's how my brain, like when I think of your face, that's the name. That's
Carolina.
Because we're right next to North and South Carolina, which is states here in the U.S., but they're spelled differently. So,
but people that are watching this, guys, like what this really is, and why we're doing this is that I think all three of us are just hungry to have healthy conversations about our creativity.
Yeah.
A healthy conversation about like our processes, like really like, like who we are, why we do what we do.
Exactly.
And what is the end goal, and I think every time we create something, how we express ourselves changes a little bit.
Yeah.
And, this is not scripted.
Yeah.
Is it not? Damn it.
Yeah. I kind of wish we had like a button we could press that when something's like funny.
Yeah. Teleprompter. Yeah.
That's what it would be. No annoying I would get.
Yeah.
I'm getting a button like this, the hyped one.
Oh man. Yeah. Like you just have like a button. You just have something on the computer that you can press that's just like annoying but really funny. But I guess we could probably start off saying just who we are.
Yeah.
I think that's a good start.
Yeah.
Carolina, how about you say who you are?
So yes. I'm the queen.
She's the queen, exactly.
The queen
of creativity. Well, I'm an artist and a photographer. I live from photography and from teaching others how to do art and how to do photography. Been published in a few places. Trying not to be too humble this time, but I think it's kind of ingrained.
Yes, but where have you been published? Yeah. Because I think that's pretty impressive.
Well, I've been published in Vogue a few times. I've been published in, I think it's called Harper's Bazaar or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm probably butchering the name. And Tatler's Asia. And a few other places, but I think that's the most fun ones or the most exciting ones.
Exactly.
Yeah, and now I've got the exhibition with Rembrandt that is opening today.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. Tell us, what is the exhibition? What is it for? What's the purpose of it?
Well, the exhibition is organized by, I think it's called the National Gallery, so it's kind of a big deal. I'm trying not to think it's too big of a deal because my brain will explode. And they have a masterpiece tour, which basically means that they rent out their favorite pieces or their most precious pieces to smaller galleries, like the national galleries around the UK. And the gallery in Wales I think it's called Oriel Davies, which is Welsh for, I'm guessing, gallery. I don't know. I might be totally wrong. I don't speak Welsh.
Right?
Yeah.
But most galleries in Welsh are called Oriel, so it probably means this. And they've invited few artists who are inspired by old masters, or they do portraits in the most refined way. And I think I'm the only one who is there with digital pieces. The rest is actually like traditional art, which is quite exciting. I'm really curious how the public will react to a bit more modernized version of Rembrandt.
Yeah, no, I love it. That's one of the things that you're so good at, Carolina. Like, even when you were just playing around, you like made Brian and I look, I was looking back at like the main one that you created that we use all the time.
Yeah.
But then you also like made me like all super sexy Rembrandt, whatever.
Yeah, I love that. I don't remember if it was yours. Yeah, it was either your portrait or Brian, but one of you had a glass in the hand, and in the glass, I don't know if you've noticed, there was like a tiny rubber duck in it.
Oh, I didn't see that.
That's hilarious. Yeah. No, I didn't.
So sometimes I do that, like I'll just put a tiny little odd thing inside.
Yeah. No, I love it. It's so fun.
Man, so I went to this film summit on Thursday. And one of the speakers was this guy who actually, I could have it wrong, but I know that the product is right. I'm just not sure if what I'm about to say is correct, because it could be. Anyway.
There is a little duck in it. I see it.
Now I see it. But he created like the Coca-Cola logo.
Yeah.
He did some. I can't think of the name of it. I'm if he's watching this, it's awesome. I don't remember your name, but you see, basically the example I'm using him for is our children are already calling us.
It's okay.
Is that, he created something really iconic.
He created the Surge logo.
The Surge logo, Coca-Cola logo, all this stuff.
Not the Coca-Cola
but he did something really, really iconic. Yeah. Like really great. And I think you actually reminded me of him, because he's super creative.
Brian is going to talk. I'm going to.
Yeah, they're probably going to ask us where this is and what that is. But this is our life, guys. We have 4 kids, 2 little boys that always want to know where we're at.
You honestly have 4 kids?
4 kids.
Wow. I don't know why. I always thought that you've got 2. That's the 2 I see all the time.
So the thing is, my older kids, I have 2 girls. I have 2 girls, 2 boys. My oldest ones are 2 girls, and they're pretty self-sufficient. They can do all their things.
Yeah.
My 2 boys, they still need us. They 100% need us for everything. So like, we can go anywhere in the house, and they will find us. They will find us.
There's no private life then.
No, but it's funny. Like, I'm so happy to have kids, because I think it anchors me in my reality. It anchors me in my world right now. Yeah. Because and the thing is, like, you don't have to have kids to have that feeling, but I love that that's my anchor, because that allows me to really kind of connect to Lindsey, helps me connect to my world and even my creativity, because like what I'm creating is for them, really. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like, you can have all these clients and you can have all these people that love you, but at the end of the day, it's like, it's the people that really understand you and see you every day. That's who you're working for.
Yeah, that's it.
That's the satisfaction.
Yeah, so it's basically
the family are helping us with all of that. But they're at my mom's house right now.
Yeah.
I'm making mac and cheese.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna have to leave again in like 5 minutes to like finish the product.
Yeah. But the next part, people ask me about my kids, like, what's their names? So we have a 14-year-old and a 13-year-old. Our 14-year-old, her name is Summer Grace. We have the second one, she's 13. Harmony Rain. And then Journey, our oldest, Journey Strong.
Journey Strong is our oldest boy.
Yeah.
He's 8. And then Bravery Sage is the one that was just like, Mom, can you make me mac and cheese?
Yeah.
He's 6. So.
And the thing is, we specifically named our children their names because they represented the season of life that we were in or we were about to go into.
I love it. Great.
And
And FYI, American mac and cheese is an abomination to most British people.
I think to most people.
Yeah, I know.
To be honest,
I know.
I never had it. I've talked with my Italian friends about it, and they said if I want to die trying, I can, but they don't recommend it.
Right? Yeah. There is no real actual cheese in American
really?
like craft mac and cheese. Yeah.
Okay.
It's this, so this is dried out like the used it, but yeah. So there's like a cheese powder that you put on it. Yeah.
Cooking with Lindsey. Here we
That's
go.
a new show.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Oh man,
anyway.
it would be a very short show. It would be like
No, I am a good cook.
I don't mean it that way, but I mean it's just like we make food that like goes quickly.
Yeah.
So it'd be like food that we make decent food, but eaten fast. Anyway.
Okay, we're going to be talking about creative conversations and creative clarity, not necessarily me making mac and cheese for my.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh
but
God.
you haven't really said what you do.
Yes. So we do is we are photographers. First and foremost, Brian and I met about 18 years ago. And he had a camera in his hand. We were at a party, and he was like, "Hey, do you think people would mind if I took photos?" I'm like, "No, go for it. Do whatever you want to." And then I saw something in the photos that he created. There was just a candid, there was a realness that like I had never seen from anyone before, and so. Brian and I ended up becoming friends, and then friends turned into dating.
Married couple.
And then we've been married for about 17 years now.
So we dated for almost a year.
Yeah.
And then we got married.
Well,
amazing.
Yeah. We met and got married within just over a year. It was like a year and 3 weeks. So, but it's all good. So 17 years later, we're still here and it's good. But one of my favorite things to do is to see talent in somebody and draw it out.
That's it.
So I saw that talent in Brian, and I'm like, no, you need to do this for real, not just like for casual. And so started out with weddings. Ended up over the last 17 years, we've shot over 350 weddings at least.
That's a lot.
I don't know, we kind of lost count somewhere along the lines, but whatever. And then ended up going more into portraits about 3 years ago.
Man, that seems like a long time ago.
I know, but it's so good. And then about a year and a half ago, we started mentoring other photographers as well on an official basis. We were doing it for free through people's inboxes and just encouraging them and all that kind of stuff. But we officially started doing it about a year and a half ago. And
awesome.
Have had hundreds of conversations and really, really enjoy this. This is our favorite thing to do. So
and it shows.
And I think with anything that we connect to and is an expression of us, we often want to help other people recreate that own experience, but through their own lens, through their own eyes, through their own heartbeat. And that's what I want. That's what I'm hoping that these lives can be, is that we just want to inspire people to be like, hey, what are you passionate about? What are you really passionate about? Because I feel like our creativity is often kind of given to us at a young age. And we do a lot of things to kind of like strengthen it. But it's really when we get older and we start realizing, what is this? Like, what, why do I have pictures in my head? Why do I have ideas for this particular thing? And I think that's why we do mentoring. And that's obviously why we do the photos, because it's like, it's us, I think, reconnecting to our true cause.
Exactly.
And
it's the reason why we do this. We love it so much. We love being able to, like, that's one of my favorite things to do, is that I always think of it like when you watch Fixer Upper and Joanna Gaines is sitting there and she's like putting all these things and all these, like, projecting all of these walls that aren't there and like tearing things down and putting things in. Like that's that's how I see people. Is I'm like, there's so much potential here. We just have to draw it out. We might need to knock stuff down. Might need to like throw some more things in and like clarify and make it look good. But like in the end, that's like we see what you're really capable of. And
I think to really understand what you're capable of, sometimes you gotta tear things down to able to build what you actually desire.
Exactly.
You know, that's why there's an undo button. Sometimes you can do that, but sometimes you gotta tear it down.
Yep.
You gotta learn what you're doing.
Yeah.
Is it just us? Is it just here? Just us. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, it looks like someone's watching on YouTube, so hello to you.
Someone's watching on Facebook as well, so it's all good. We're just gonna talk. And then
I mean, this lives here forever now, so if anyone in the future and our past watches this and have questions, just ask us, basically.
Yes.
No, we were watching the movie, what was it? The Adam Project last night.
Oh, I was watching that as well yesterday.
Yeah. So that's the whole thing. So when you said in our past, your future,
you know,
like
this is a great topic starter.
Yeah.
This is really good.
I mean, also, just FYI, I had my friend yesterday tell me that we were great to listen to as a podcast while she was cleaning the house.
Awesome.
So there's that. Yeah.
We're famous.
Yes. I love it. No.
Finally.
That's it. I'm done.
I'm done. I'm done.
Right,
there's a knock on the door. It's the royalties. Thanks.
Yeah, no.
I'm being ridiculous.
All right, anyway.
But I mean, I think this is a great subject starter because, you know, I really like Ryan Reynolds.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, he started from, I think he made like a movie that he made Green Lantern.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a great movie.
That's not
like it wasn't great. But, you know, that's all I ever known him from. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, it's like he, you know, obviously, you know, that one movie didn't define him. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, what struck me so much about this movie, because this isn't like a review at all.
Okay.
But what I was blown away with is that he is such a adept actor. He's a very emotional actor, but like it's not cheesy and corny.
Right.
And there was angles in that movie that was so visually beautiful because it reflected the emotions.
But I don't know if you've noticed, you know, he's also always, I don't know, that's how I think, always himself.
Yes.
Sure.
There's always Ryan.
There's always
there's always that. Yeah, there's always the craziness, basically, which is great.
That was one of the things that I noticed about the boy that they chose to be the younger him.
Yeah.
Also had so many of his mannerisms. I'm like, he looks like a young Ryan Reynolds. He acts like a young Ryan Reynolds. Like, I feel like the mannerisms and the way that he said things and the sarcasm that he used was the same. Like, but anyway, that was just, it was interesting. It was very, I feel like it was very visually.
Well, I mean, it was visually stunning, but it just was like,
fun. It was a good story.
I don't often get emotional during movies. Like I just don't.
But you did last night.
But I don't, because I feel like movies have kind of lost that in a funny way.
Mm-hmm.
It's more about shoot 'em up, explosions, save this person, save that.
Yeah.
But this was like, this story came from a real place for whoever written it or for whoever was directing it.
Yeah. That maybe possibly the person that wrote it had a dad.
Yeah.
When you know, that all was like
it was just like dealing with trauma in a very healthy way.
Yeah.
And dealing with it being like, I don't have to be this way.
Yeah.
I don't, you know what I mean? It was like him he was reminded by his young self, by his old self.
Yeah, let's just not do many spoilers.
I know, right?
That's true.
Yes.
That's true.
Yeah. It just came out yesterday.
Yeah, that's true.
But anyway.
Yeah.
But really, 30
good.
minutes into it, it becomes Green Lantern 3.
Yep.
So everything it just doesn't make sense. I don't know why he turned into Green Lantern. I didn't get that part. No,
I'm not
anyway.
sure. And the Hulk was there, so I don't know.
I know, right? Exactly.
Yeah. And I don't know why House from the show House showed up and started doing surgery at people is weird.
Greg
Laurie is super weird.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway, all right. So creative conversations, creative clarity.
Yes.
So what is it when you, Carolina, when you are going through kind of a funk, or like, what is it that you're able to like come back to and clarify, and like, what is it that you use to like come back to yourself, I guess?
Well, definitely friends and talking to people, because sometimes when you're stuck or you've got creative block, my art teacher always said that creative block is just an excuse for laziness, and it doesn't exist. You just take a pencil and draw. In a way, it is true, but the struggle is real sometimes, and you just don't know what to do. So talking to friends helps, but for me, it's always music. It's always coming back to my inspirations, some, like paintings, old masters, sometimes books, sometimes films, like the one we've talked just a moment ago. Visually, it was beautiful. The forest and the way they've colored the whole house in the forest. It was just like, wow, I want to live there. So
I know, right?
Just little things will remind me of who I am at this moment. Yeah, because like my art from, I don't know, 10 years ago, it's a little bit different than what I'm doing now. And it's not skill. It's, of course, I've grown as a professional, but it's sometimes it's subject, or maybe more maturity in a way.
Yeah. I think something that spoke to me, not revealing any spoilers about this movie, was you highlighted like the forest and the sun coming through the forest, and how they were setting an atmosphere.
The lighting that's coming through.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it was just beautiful.
But like, as you're talking there, I had this brain of like, is there even such a thing called an environment photographer, where you are looking at all of the scenarios of the environment that make it beautiful? Because I feel like
I think that's what landscape photographers are.
And the thing is, I'm kind of nerding it up a little bit. I'm making it a little bit of a nerdy version of this. Yeah. But like, there's so many layers to how that worked. And the thing is, it's lighting, it's probably layering, it's probably special effects. There's, was that an actual forest? I don't know.
It might be just studio.
Yeah. But it was just like, I loved how well thought it was. Well thought out. Especially visually. Very, like, like, it's almost like I feel like that he doesn't put his name to something that isn't quality.
Yeah.
I kind of see them like that's what they allow him to do. I feel like
Green Lantern.
Yeah.
He knows. He knows that wasn't good, and so he's like, I'm not going to do that again.
No. Yeah. Well, but I mean, like, obviously, I mean, like, not just him, but I mean, artists in general, is that your vision changes, right? From every experience you do, there's something you take away that you're like, I'm either never going to do that again, or I'm always going to do that again. And the thing is, that visual photographer mindset in my brain is that there's always layers to what we do. And the thing is, it's like, I could feel like they were pretty adamant about creating that visual. If they weren't adamant, then they wouldn't have followed through with it, and we wouldn't be impacted by it, right? And I feel like as a photographer, there's so many layers in how we think and how we act. And I think it's really getting to know each one of those layers that makes us better at what we do.
I mean, that's for me, it's like coming back to like my roots. It's coming back to like, I mean, even silly things like you were saying, like reading a book or listening to a podcast for me, or like even like going back and like re-listening to teachings that I've listened to in the past that like inspired me. I mean, like, okay, this is what we need to do. You know. So that's definitely helped me for sure. What about you, Brian?
I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't ready. No, because I thought Caroline was gonna go.
No, Caroline already did.
Okay.
She goes back to the masters and the paintings and listens to books and watch movies. So
or go deep inside and relive the traumatic events that
I need a.
So when you're having a creative
Okay,
block,
there we go.
when you need creative clarity, what do you go back to?
Man, sometimes it's nostalgia.
Yeah. And it shows in your photos. Yeah.
Sometimes I go to a place that time is already touched.
Yeah.
And there's no defining it. There's no explaining it. It's just there. It's a very safe place for me.
A lot of 90s country and a lot of 90s movies go through. You can tell when Brian's like, that's just randomly.
But,
like,
I'm so glad we're talking about this because this is exactly what I want to talk about today. But
which is the reason why I prompted you.
I have gone on many family reunions. I'm from Illinois. A lot of my family has scattered out into different cities, and probably late 2012, late 2013. There's 2 years in a row where the whole family came together. We all met.
I will be back. I need to finish the mac and cheese.
We all met in Michigan, and the thing is, I just started getting into photography. I just started getting into really understanding my creativity, and there was just a couple weird series of events that really set me up, I think, for where we're at now. Is that I knew that we were all going to be together, and I'm like, I want to figure out some way to document this.
Yeah.
But digital cameras weren't really popular. What was available was rather expensive. And I had the know-how for some reason. I went to a garage sale. Garage sale, I don't know if you know what a garage sale is. It's like some of that thrift store kind of.
Oh, yeah.
I bought a recorder, like a sound recorder. And I think it was either digital or it was tape. And I had a mic. And every single time we all got together, those 3 days we were together, around the bonfire, my dad would break out his guitar, my uncle would break out his guitar, and they would just play songs from their youth. Like songs that are really kind of dated now that I don't have any connection to, but they did.
Yeah.
And I just took my microphone out and I just recorded it. And it was hours and hours and hours. And the thing is, they weren't doing anything for perfection. They were together. So when they were together, that's what they created. So my version of what they were creating was I'm going to create something that is for me to remind me of what I experienced, why they're experiencing what they were experiencing with them. And I took those recordings and I spent 6 weeks at home and I recorded them analog into my computer and I learned editing, audio editing. And I made a 12-track CD and I sent it to all of my family members. And I made slideshows with the photos I took. And it was one of the first times I ever took my really this really generic, not planned out idea and been you know what? This is only happening once. This is probably the only time I'm ever going to record this happening.
Yeah.
And it taught me so much about my creative clarity. And the thing is, I don't know what the recordings are now, but I mean, they weren't that great. But the thing is, greatness doesn't mean it doesn't have to be great for it to resonate with people around you.
Yeah.
It's the memory and it's the experience that you come back to. And I think that's why sometimes I go to nostalgia, because I'm what did I learn in this moment that is going to teach the future version of myself to be hey, have you thought about trying this differently? Because that's why you created this, because you weren't prepared to buy that, but you did. But because you bought that, it allowed you to create this. And I think nostalgia just sometimes allows me to go back to this place of being I want to create like that again.
Yeah. That's so cool.
Yeah. I literally think about that moment in my life. I've been thinking about it a lot lately, a lot. And it's actually kind of gotten a little bit annoying because I'm 39 years old. I was 23 when I did that. Why am I thinking about that? Have you ever had something like that?
But usually it's more why did I say something, or I should have said something like this. So it's more those things rather than thinking why I've done something creative or
Sure.
anything like that. So yeah, but it's fascinating, and like going back to your memories, it's great. I've actually had the whole like huge project last few months ago about the memories and about the
Yeah.
like childhood nostalgia almost, but I've went with weird alternative universe almost scenarios in them, so it's a little bit different story, isn't it? But
Yeah.
yeah, it's what we do with the memories and what we do with the nostalgia and
Sure.
yeah.
Because I you know what, I feel like memories are not like balloons. They don't just inflate once and then they disappear.
No,
Memories are something that just stay. They stay with you. They get into your DNA. They get in your bones. They get in your personality. They get in everything that you are.
Yeah.
And they shape you, you know? And one of the weirdest conclusions I come to, and I think the reason why I've been going back to that place where I created that, is just because I love beginnings. Like, I love beginnings. And a word I used a couple years ago, that's kind of coming back in my brain, is I feel like I'm going through creative renaissance again. Like, that's what that was in 2010.
Yeah.
That was the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And when you learn and you grow and you mature, you just because, well, I know enough of it, so I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
And I feel like those memories are bringing me back saying, hey, Brian, I want you to learn your creative renaissance again.
Yeah.
Because it's like when you don't define something completely, it allows you to change it into anything you want. Here comes our child again.
Yes. Okay. It looks burnt. It is a little bit burnt.
It is.
Because I was down here when it was making. Don't worry about it.
Right? So our kids know where we're at all times. And locking the door doesn't matter.
Actually, so here's the thing.
No, just slam and yell.
No, so here's the thing. The lock is on the other side.
Yeah. Oh.
Because this is the basement. So
you just lock them here.
Yeah. So like if we locked the door, we would be locked into the basement.
Oh.
And couldn't, like, it wouldn't work the other way around. Does that make sense? So yeah. So, and normally our girls are really good about helping keep the boys upstairs.
They would be, but they're not here.
They're not here.
So, are you telling me that you were locked up in the basement? Should I call for help?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Blink twice.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, but they know we're not, so they're going to come down again. Here they come. Hey, Journey. Not right now, okay?
Listen, we're doing a Facebook Live right now.
No, not right now, okay?
Fine. Hold on.
Anyway,
I will.
So, have you gone through, or are you going through, a creative renaissance of yourself? Is there something that's changing in your life?
Good question. I think so. I mean, for me, my art is never finished, or it's never.
Sure.
It's always evolving. So,
Sure.
so definitely, like learning new things or just reinventing yourself in a way. It's always been a huge part of the process. But every time you start fresh, almost you start from different point because you've got the skills you've learned and you've got the knowledge or experiences and things like that. But I feel like I want to make more of how to say it, well researched art, so it's not just pretty picture in a way.
Sure. Yeah,
but it's a little bit different as I rarely have clients that will come to my studio. It's more creating art and then selling prints and things like that, so it's a little bit different process.
So using photos that have already been taken.
Or I will create the photos, but they are it's like making a painting, isn't it? So you don't paint. Sometimes you do paint for someone, but you know what I mean. Like I do it for myself, and then the rest follows, not the other way around. Saying that I do have commissions, and people will come for me for portraits, but it's more my creative outlet, and they will be drawn to that. Not like, oh yeah, make me beautiful again.
See, you said something really pivotal. Creating for yourself.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's a different energy around when you're creating something for yourself than creating like a work of art that's commissioned, right? And that commission could be anything. It could be photography, it could be sculpture.
Yeah.
And that's what that experience for me 20 years ago was, is that was me making something for me. Like nobody asked me to do that. Like zero. I just was like, oh, I have this microphone and I have this camera. And it was all a world that I created for me, because I'm like, I feel like sometimes our brains and our hearts are like these ever-changing rooms that once we get access to, we just redesign it. And then we're like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then we leave it. Then we go to another room and then we create the same thing. Yeah. And I feel like I've been so excited to create my room again. You know, I've been so excited to redecorate, paint the walls this, or put a you know, we got this thing, we got some stuff here.
Yeah.
Actually, legitimately, okay. So a friend of ours, Melissa, she actually, so we have to figure out a way to like mount it. But like my idea would be to do something along these lines. But our friend Melissa did this painting.
It's awesome.
And
it's your colors,
isn't
isn't it?
Not gorgeous?
Yeah.
It is. And so when I saw it, I was just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about it is that there are all kinds of like layers in it.
Yeah.
So like if you look really closely, there's like maps and books and things like that. It's mixed media.
I love
like
it.
Layered into this.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Cool.
We just got this last week on Sunday, like a week ago, and I love it so much.
But we've touched on that subject of creating for yourself last time we spoke. Because for me, creating art, I was never like crowd chasing. Basically, I don't do it for the crowd or for the money. It kind of follows the passion. It wasn't really the other way around. So I never thought I'm going to become a photographer because I will make six figures business.
Right.
There is a lot of people who may do it or they claim they do it, but you know, it wasn't my idea of why I do this, and still isn't.
You do it specifically for the art aspect.
So it's like if never my brain is way too fast now. If nobody ever sees the art or wants to buy it, I'd still make it because I don't know any other way.
Yeah.
You know, that's big. That's really big.
I'm a business nerd, so I love the business behind photography. I think it's fascinating, and I get to connect with people and things like that. But Brian has always been the creator.
You know,
I can do it. Like that's the thing. I am a photographer myself. I can definitely do it. I enjoy doing it, and what I create works, and it sells and all that kind of stuff. Like any of the jobs that I ever had, like when I was like, if I was commissioned to be a photographer outside of us, like I was always their top salesperson. I was always like, I created whatever, you know, but that's the whole thing, is that it's more that I enjoy being able to like, I can create something that you're going to want to buy. That's it.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Like, I think what's really cool about what you said, Lindsey, is that, you know, we all come to a place where we create for ourselves, but then we're a little bit nervous about creating stuff that's going to sell. Yeah. It's almost like the brain switches because you're just like, then the pressure and the worry and the thoughts of, is someone going to buy this? Is someone going to want this like I want it? Yeah. And when we're creating art, it's like we're literally creating a baby. I mean, it's all of us going into this space. Yeah. And then one day, a lot of people will see it. A lot of people will be like, oh, interesting. You know, some people want to pay, some people don't. And I think it's like, I believe it's what's most important is that you create what you love without honestly seeking the acknowledgement of others as saying that they love it too. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
And exactly. I hope that doesn't sound like Yeah, I was just looking at you. I thought you were going to jump in there. But she's like,
sorry, I feel really bad because I kind of was a little bit more harsh to Journey than I should have been when he came down. And I was just thinking, I'm like, man, I need to go apologize.
And that's all, it's all in the world now. People will know that you're they are not harsh parents though. They are pretty cool.
I just feel bad. So I was thinking more about that. I was like, dang it. I should go apologize to him, but we're in a live stream, so
they need to know what we were down here and wasn't time to play.
I think you'll survive 5 minutes.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, I don't know. Like there's always so many ways we can go with this.
But it's good.
But I feel like I'm talking a lot.
Yeah, that's good.
That's good. You want to say about this?
Sometimes, I was talking a lot last week, so you can talk a lot now. No, it's it's finding what you're passionate about, because when you're watching us, you don't have to be next me or next you or I don't know who else. If you want to do landscape, go do a landscape if that's your call. Because why not? Like if you want to be a wedding photographer, God, please whatever. Do it. Yeah.
Like it's a creative entrepreneurs in general is what we feel like we're doing, and we want to reach out to, because like it's not just photographers. Like you use photography to create your art, but you're more of an artist than anything else, like a digital artist.
Like
if you are for real a digital artist.
I think the part of myself that I love the most in my creative process is I feel more refined to help people define who they are.
Yeah.
That I went to the film festival the other day, and 10 years ago, I would have went to the corner and I would have been like, hi, how you doing?
Oh, you'd be the creepy guy in the corner.
Yeah, I would be creepy. One, because I didn't know what to talk about. Two, I didn't feel like I had a personality, so I would just like fit in. But I was just
10 years ago, no.
Well, but anyway,
the number
doesn't matter.
Yeah, no,
the number doesn't matter.
He was 100% like life of the party wedding photographer 10 years ago. So
I'd expect that more than the creepy dude in the corner. Like,
yeah,
right.
I became the better version of myself because Lindsay helped me do that.
Yeah,
okay.
Because I drew it out of him. I'm like, right, this is what you need to do.
But I was walking around the film thing, and there was this young kid. He had like a bunch of food with him, and I'm like, I want to say hi to him, but I'm like, he has all his food. I feel like I'm gonna take all his time because they have like 30 minutes to eat. But he's all by himself, and then instantly when I sat down, we went from strangers to friends.
You know what? That's more of the example of what Brian does.
Yeah.
Is he finds that person that's sitting by themselves and like draws them out. That's his favorite thing to do, is to find that person that's like sitting there by themselves, not knowing what to do. And he like goes and draws them out.
But I do that. The reason why I do that now is because someone did the same thing for me.
Yeah.
Someone spotted me in the room, gave me a place to talk, gave me a place to communicate who I was with no judgment.
Yeah.
No judgment. And the thing is, when I sat down with him, he gave me one of the most brilliant visions for a film. It's a biblical film about like a story in the Bible, not Jesus on the cross, but just a story that we all kind of know, but like a really great explanation of it. And my brain just kind of exploded.
Yeah.
And he just kept on saying, I know I'm young. And then he explained the idea. And they said, I know I'm young. Here's my idea. And I said, hey, bro, stop saying you're young. You're confident. And that's why you're telling me this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's like confidence is so key to you understanding your creativity, your self-worth, and what you're capable of.
Yeah.
And I feel like the earlier in life you learn it, the healthier you're going to be later in life.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's sometimes we just get too shy or too something. I don't know. I don't even know how to name it. It's like, I think someone's better, or something's this, or something's that, or I'm Polish in the UK. That's probably never going to work. It's like, no, forget it. If you want to do it, just do it.
Well, and the thing is, most of the time, our objections to what we want to do or how we want to create ourselves is not from an actual person.
Mm-hmm.
It's from an actual thought that we created, that we made into a person, into a conversation that didn't happen.
Yeah.
But we put it in front of us being like, oh, that's why I'm not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know what? Like I was talking with like a salesperson that sells the CRM or whatever it's called.
Mm-hmm.
And he was sharing his screen yesterday, and he wanted to show me how it looks on the phone. So his phone screen, like lock screen, came up, and it was the most cheesy but the most cute quote I could ever imagine on like this buffed, beautiful man sitting in front of me on a Zoom, because he was like, "Be careful what you say to yourself because you're always listening."
Nice.
And I'm like,
I like it,
dude. That's so cool and that's so real. The first thing was like, oh, that's so cheesy, but then it's like, but that is true. Like, we are our worst enemy sometimes.
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, I just had a funny illustration. I'm gonna try to make sense of it. I'm gonna try to make sense of this. You know, a bathtub is created to fill up with water, right? But it also can hold a lot of other things too. But the bathtub doesn't dictate what goes in it. We do. And I think our heart and our brains are just like the same.
Yeah.
Is that we are the product of what we put inside of us.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I take a bath, I take a shower to wash stuff off. That's the intention of it. But it's totally capable of holding all these other things.
Any YouTube video will tell you that you can take a bath in Fruit Loops.
Yeah,
and if you've seen Breaking Bad, you can also dissolve your body in the bathtub.
There you go.
This is true.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
I haven't watched Breaking Bad in forever.
I haven't too.
But the thing is, so many of us creatives are putting things in places they shouldn't be. We're filling ourselves up with stuff that gives us no longevity.
Yeah.
It's an instant drain. It's like we're filling ourselves up with a couple good things, but we forget to put the drain on. So it fills up, or it doesn't fill. It fills up for a little bit, and then we get all gunky, and then nothing washes off of us. And one of the most important things for me that saves me a lot outside of nostalgia is I've realized that I actively have to do things that allows me to renew my mind.
Exactly.
Just like that water renews my body and gets rid of all the dirt, I have to do the same thing in my mind.
Yeah.
I have to go places. I have to have conversations. I have to go do things that allows this to get renewed. And that's what combats those conversations that tell you you're not worthy.
Yeah, exactly. And it's sometimes like people just think that from school. It's a judgment that we basically buy, because like I'm neurodivergent, so I'd never fit in, and I will never fit in, but I'm okay with that right now, because like who cares? But that's it. It's like it's you don't fit in a high school, so you think you're never quote unquote good enough or anything like that. It's a weird space, isn't it? But then it's like I always struggled when I tried to do weddings, when I tried to sell portraits. I always struggled with sales. But that just shows me that I'm not an entrepreneur or whatever, however you say it. I'm not that. I'm just creative, and if somebody likes it and they want to buy the art or commission me, that's great. That's fantastic. Let's do it. But I'm not going to build an empire of I don't know, photographic greatness. I'm not going to sell cameras or anything like that, because that's not me. Yeah.
You know, most really successful people or businesses last the test of time, not for doing one thing, but constantly evolving into what they're best at.
Yeah, exactly.
That and the thing is, but that takes time, and it takes a lot of failure to evolve into the best version of what you do.
Exactly.
I mean, it is a journey, isn't it? It's let's think about it as like hero's journey. You have to go and you have to grow, and then you have to fail, and it's destined to grow from the mistakes and things like that. And it is true.
Yeah,
and also just giving yourself permission to fail.
Oh yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah. But I know, but you know, but it's kind of like a taboo subject, right?
Yeah,
to talk about failure, because Because when we talk about failure, you're not the life of the party.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, when you talk about what you did wrong or what you could have done better in a public place, people who don't know you and trust you or whatever it is, you start reliving that experience and you have more anxiety than you did when you're actually going through it.
But do you know that, like, I want to say almost 100% of the, like, millionaires and billionaires out there have had at least one completely and totally failed business.
Yeah.
Like, that they have utterly failed and gone down to zero and then rebuilt themselves stronger.
Yeah, it's fascinating, but they are not afraid to start over. That's the thing.
Exactly.
Isn't it?
Yeah. And they don't take that failure as, okay, I failed and now I'm never going to get
the most simple metaphor for this or example is like when we're kids, we don't know how to walk. If I fail at the first try, I mean,
I tried to stand up when I fell, so I'm never going to.
I mean, I was a funny kid because I never crawled. I started to walk and that was it. But I was a late walker, so I talked way faster than I was walking. So that's one thing. But it's so I hated crawling. So I was like, I'll just walk. That's it.
No, it totally makes sense.
One of the most powerful things that I've experienced when I'm failing or I haven't gotten something right, and I know that I have to continue to pursue it.
Yeah.
But for some odd reason, it's like I'm playing baseball. I have 2 strikes against me, and if I swing one more time, I'm gonna miss it. Yeah. But I'm like, if I don't show up to the batter plate, I'm gonna ultimately feel like a failure.
Yeah.
And what I've learned a little bit is not anticipate the pitch, but look for friends that want to show me how to swing my bat.
Yeah.
Like, because there's batting coaches for a reason.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's the same with art and with everything. I mean,
that's it. Yeah.
If you're doing something the same way you always did and it doesn't work, just change it. Yeah, exactly.
And I think as artists sometimes we get caught up with comparison, and we think that we have to be hitting home runs all the time.
Yeah, and you're like we said, you are your own enemy because we all strive for perfection and we strive for, this is not good enough, this is not finished, this is not this. I'm not going to send it to a competition if that's what you want to do because it's not finished, it's not perfect. And it's like, well, it's better than perfect because it's here.
Yeah.
And I remember when I was training to pass my exams to Academy of Fine Arts, because you have to do like 5 days of an exam to go to the Academy of Fine Arts in Poland. When I was training, they said not to focus on details first when you paint or when you draw, because you don't know how much time you've got left, essentially, like if you have to start over. So every stage of the painting has to look like it's finished. Even if it's just a few brush strokes, make them count. And that's kind of like, I forgot about it for a little bit. And it is this. It doesn't have to be perfect. It has to be finished.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
And oh man, one thing that popped in my head is just like loving your process, even if it's really messy.
Yeah.
Even if the colors they shouldn't mix, and the colors would be your ideas.
Yeah.
Like, how does this world work with this world? Or how I made the eye here, but the mouth doesn't fit. Like whatever you're creating. But I feel like my creative imagination is just like that.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm making a Mona Lisa. I feel like I'm making. I'm using a canvas to create something that reflects me. And just because in the process of what you're making, you feel like the mouth is the eye and the eye is the nose, it doesn't mean it's wrong.
Yeah.
Because there's many artworks that have proven that's not true.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to have everything in the right place. It's about what are you saying and what are you feeling in this moment.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not necessarily for the moment, it's for the future of who you're becoming.
Yeah.
That's teaching you the process of how to be you in a better way. And I think that's one of my biggest passions in life.
Yeah. Agreed.
You know?
Yeah. So for next week, should we make ourselves a challenge and create something cool?
Yes.
Yes.
I love it. Let's do it.
I love it.
So any of you that are watching as well, create something and let us know.
Go create. Just do it.
Yeah.
Do you remember that meme?
I was trying to say create something creative, and I was like, that doesn't create something, whatever. Like
fun.
Just that is you fun.
Well, pretty impactful, important to you, or not important at all. I feel like I'm a crazy scientist today. Oh my god, what's happening with this guy?
It's all good. Yeah. I know. I tried to straighten my hair, but yeah.
No, I like what you just said there.
It was about out to here and just pure frizz earlier.
Cool.
I have a 2-prong request. Okay, whoever's watching this, create something that has no purpose at all.
Yeah. Other than
it's just you getting you brain dumping.
Yeah.
Something, or something that you've been putting off, but you're fully capable of making in minutes.
Yeah.
Not thinking about it, just processing it.
Yeah.
Brian, that goes to you as well.
Oh,
I know.
I have ideas, but
I know.
There's no ideas. You just create. Don't plan it.
Exactly. I know. No, it's
can
not
I
that
can I challenge you even more? Can I?
Yes.
Do it as a self-portrait.
Sure.
Exactly.
That's probably a better idea.
I know. That's what I'm trying to tell
Well, we are photographers, so Lindsey, you have to do it too.
I know. Okay. I will.
Yeah.
I know I have to do it too, but
I don't always feel creative. I feel like I'm way more analytical than I am creative.
But you said that when you take photos of yourself anyway, so that fits the agenda.
Exactly.
That gives us the energy.
Does it though? It has to be you and the camera, no one else in the room.
Oh, okay. I don't know how that's going to happen.
Actually, so legitimately, I was talking to some like coaches and things like that and they were like, she's basically trying to do what she can to like make a banner image for her coaching project that she's doing. And I was like, okay, so what you need to do is like set up your camera in your windowsill, okay? And just start laughing, turn the timer on and just start laughing. Just for no reason at all.
Yeah.
Like just laugh. And then all of a sudden you're going to start thinking about how ridiculous it is that you're laughing and why are you laughing? And then from there, like there's just going to become like this genuine, like, why am I laughing? This is hilarious. Why, and then also picture in your head the people that are going to come through, the people, the breakthroughs that you're going to be able to do. Yep. And then just think about, like, for her, it was the prosperous woman. So I'm like, think about what it is to be a prosperous woman and think about how you're going to be able to impact them and then laugh about that and think about the joy, like embody the joy that goes into that.
That's it.
And everybody's like, oh, that's really good. I'm like, Yeah.
So, create something.
I know. So I need to do the same thing.
Yeah. To create, you have cameras. They have timers. I bet they are tethered as well.
What?
That's a big word. And you can do two. One that is not meaningful and one that is actually showing the true you.
Yeah. I love it.
That's true.
It's just me being teachy again.
Yes.
No, I like it.
We're going to do it. Yeah. So challenge anybody else to do that.
Yes.
So, Carolina, I just want to give you a chance to be able to plug what you're doing and how can people get in touch with you and all that kind of stuff as well.
Well, what I do, I do this. I talk with people if they want to engage me and not engage me. Not looking for engagement yet.
But engage with you, talk with you.
Yes, if they want to learn from me, if they want me to teach them.
Yeah.
See, that's my brain. It's like, she said the word. So they can contact me. I do one-on-ones on creativity, on how to push your craft further, how to be a better artist.
Sure.
I cringe a little bit because, it's a weird saying, but, just how to, if you want to do what I do or something similar or something totally different, we can talk about it. And so that's what I do. I've got a Facebook group that is almost dead because Facebook is almost dead.
Weird. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I post from time to time there, but it's a good place to like ask me questions and stuff. Then you've got the Instagram and everything, and we'll just link everything below because there's a lot of information. I hand over to you. Oh, actually, I've got a quick plug. I will link down below the auction that we do, the charity auction for Ukraine, because it's happening in, I think, 2 hours.
Oh, wow.
So it's a great opportunity to grab either my art. There's 2 of my photos there. Right now, I think they start at €100, so about $120. So that's a steal. But I think they will go. I hope they will go further. And there's a lot of there's some sculptures, glass art, painting. So whatever you want, I'll just put the link below because I think it's important and it's a good cause. That's me. I hand over to you.
Oh, I love it.
And so we are creating a group for photographers. We've got one so far, so we're going to kind of wait until we get a few more. But
That's great, though.
I know. I'm so excited about this. So we're basically going to be creating a paid group to where we are encouraging you, equipping you, empowering you to be able to just take your business to the next level.
Sure.
Like there's so many things that go into your photography business. And one of the things that Brian and I were even talking about yesterday is like, there's like the wholeness or like, there's so much deeper. There's like, like the work-life balance and like, what is it that, yes, you're a creative, yes, you're a photographer, but like, how does that incorporate into your whole life? And so being able to do that. So we're actually going to be doing a summit on work-life balance coming up.
Yeah.
Probably not next week, but the week after.
Yeah. And what's really cool about it is that that's not just gonna be us talking. Caroline, we haven't asked you yet, but you are gonna be part of this.
Okay.
And
we want to be able to incorporate you into the 3-day challenge that we're going to be doing.
We just want to have conversations like this because we feel like it's needed. I think there's a hunger out there for people that want to just really bite into truth again.
Exactly.
And I think real truth and immediate truth starts with you. And when you understand how you act and how you think and how you feel and you allow yourself to express yourself in a healthy place, your business becomes healthy because your business isn't healthy until you're healthy. And these are the things that we want to help creatives and entrepreneurs understand. And we kind of changed a little bit of our name here a little bit. We want to do something that's called, my phone is not coming on. We feel like we're creative consultants.
Yes.
Yeah. I like that name. Yeah.
Like I know, right? I like when Brian said it yesterday, I'm like, yeah. Like that is kind of how
I love mentors. Like I love mentors, but it's kind of like the word entrepreneur, like you said earlier. It just feels like kind of like really defined. There's not a lot of space to like kind of breathe life into it. It's like, that's what it is.
Plus, there is so many, I think with our internet culture right now, there's so many memes about it. It feels cringy to say like, oh, I'm an entrepreneur and a coach.
Yeah.
That's not it. I'm not. And, but I think consultancy, it's because you consult people, it's not mentoring, it's I don't know. But I like the name.
A lot of it that goes into that. There is the mentoring, there is the looking at their business, there is but then there's also the like deep down what's going on and just really being able to take a look at their business and be like, I think that if you change this one, if you tweak this one thing, it would make a world of difference.
And we want to do it at people's speed and at their comfort level and their understanding. And we feel like that's how we grew. That's how we matured. And we feel like there's a lot of people that probably desire that, but don't know where to look. Or don't know where to find it. And for us, it's like, we're starting it in our own way, in our own style, in our own language. And we're just hungry to do it.
Cool.
So
yeah.
We're excited. It's going to be amazing.
It sounds great. It sounds really good.
Yeah. So, so you can reach us or you can go to our free group by going to like facebook.com/group/the Cohens. It's in our bio, the link to it.
And I think I've linked it in the description of this this live as well. So they'll find you there.
Or you can go to brianpluslindsey.com/chat. And that will also get you on our calendar and everything like that. We'll ask you a few questions.
Just FYI, they always ask you to jump on a Zoom call so they see your pretty face.
Yeah, it's always
exactly. That's our favorite thing to do is to do Zoom calls, because if you can't tell, we're a little bit animated. So we really like to be able to.
It's the entry life. It's the entry into our life. Is that we like genuine connection, and it starts at the front door.
Yeah.
And you know, you just want to make sure it's a good fit. It's a good relationship, and we're on the same page. I mean, with any relationship in your life, you want to make sure that everything's right in the best possible way.
Exactly.
So. But we're gonna do something. I don't know. Today's Saturday. It's cold outside. I don't know what we're gonna do.
It snowed this morning.
Yeah.
Here in Georgia, that's a big deal when it snows. But it snowed this morning.
Wow.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So, I mean, it's the dusting. It's not anything that you can actually even make.
It's raining here, so it's not a big deal.
There you go.
But anyway, thank you so much, Carolina, for joining us. And
you're the best.
Awesome. Okay.
All right. Thanks.
We'll see you later.
See you later. Bye.
Now